You have been taught that seduction is an art of mystery, an unpredictable dance of chemistry and chance. This is a beautiful, romantic, and utterly debilitating lie. Seduction, at its highest level, is not an art, it is a science, a precise, repeatable, and devastatingly effective technology of psychological influence. It is a sequence, a protocol, an architecture of escalating tension and frame dominance that, when executed correctly, makes a woman's surrender feel not like a choice, but like a beautiful, terrifying, and utterly logical inevitability. Today, we are doing something we have never done before. We are taking you inside the forge. We will deconstruct a full, seamless, seductive conversation, from the initial nerve-wracking hello to the final, silent closing of the bedroom door. We will expose the hidden machinery, the precise verbal gambits, the non-verbal power plays, the subtle frame warfare, and the psychological triggers that guide a woman from a state of polite indifference to one of breathless, eager compliance. This is not a highlight reel. This is the full, unedited source code. Pay close attention. The masters of this art do not improvise, they execute. We begin at the most critical juncture, the first 3 seconds, the moment of approach. The uninitiated man is paralyzed by a single pathetic question: what do I say? The sovereign understands this is the wrong question. The real question is, what reality do I impose? Imagine a crowded art gallery. She is standing alone, observing a painting. She is beautiful, poised, and radiating an aura of untouchable self-possession. A dozen men have noticed her. They orbit from a safe distance, crippled by approach anxiety. The sovereign, let's call him the architect, does not approach her directly. He approaches the painting next to hers. He does not look at her. He looks at the art. His posture is relaxed, his presence calm. He is in his own world. For a full 30 seconds, he is simply a man appreciating art. This establishes a baseline of non-threatening, high-status presence. Then, without turning his full body to her, he speaks over his shoulder, his voice a low, resonant, almost conspiratorial murmur. The architect: forgive the intrusion, but I'm having a silent, violent argument with this painting, and I require a second opinion from someone who looks like they might actually have one. The Gnostic dissection. Let us dissect this opening gambit. This is not a pick-up line. It is a multi-layered act of psychological warfare. 1. The frame of preeminence. He establishes that his primary focus is his own internal world, my argument with this painting. She is being invited into his reality, not the other way around. The pattern interrupt. The language is bizarre, potent, and intriguing. Silent, violent argument. This shatters her social script. It is not a question she has ever heard before. It creates an instant, powerful curiosity gap. The embedded complement and qualifier. Someone who looks like they might actually have one. This is a masterful stroke. It is a high-level compliment to her intelligence, not her beauty, while simultaneously framing her as someone he is qualifying. In a single sentence, he has established himself as an intelligent, intriguing, high-status man who is not supplicating for her attention. The game is already his. The initial hook is set. Now observe the transition from anomaly to connection. This is not achieved through a barrage of questions, but through the art of shared reality weaving. Her, slightly amused, intrigued. A violent argument? What's it about? The architect, still not fully facing her. It's pretending to be about chaos, but its lines are too perfect. It's a liar, much like most people in this room. Her laughs. That's a very cynical take. The architect finally turns slightly, holds her gaze for a beat longer than is comfortable. Honesty is often misunderstood for cynicism by those who have a vested interest in the lie. I have a feeling you are not one of those people. The Gnostic dissection. The architect is not having a conversation about art. He is architecting a conspiracy of two. 1. Creating a secret world. His statement, much like most people in this room, instantly creates an us against them frame. He and she are the only two authentic people in a world of liars. This is a powerful act of social isolation and conspiratorial bonding. 2. The gaze as an anchor. The extended eye contact is a physical punctuation mark. It is a nonverbal transfer of power, a moment of pure, focused intent that communicates more than his words ever could. 3. The second layer compliment. I have a feeling you are not one of those people. This is another masterful qualifier disguised as a compliment. He is not just saying she is honest. He is framing her as a fellow member of an elite, truth-seeing tribe. He is giving her an identity that she will now feel a powerful urge to live up to. The connection is built. The comfort is established. The uninitiated man would now settle into this comfortable space. The sovereign knows this is the precise moment to introduce tension and escalate. The conversation continues. He has now moved slightly closer. He is telling a short, engaging story. At the peak of the story, as he delivers the punchline, he does something subtle. The architect. And in that moment, the entire room went silent. You could feel the reality and he lightly, almost accidentally, touches the back of her hand with his fingertips for a fraction of a second as he says the next word. Shift. He finishes the story, his hand already gone, his gaze unwavering. Her breath catches almost imperceptibly. She is still laughing at the story, but her awareness is now entirely flooded with the memory of that single point of contact. The Gnostic dissection. This is the art of kinesthetic anchoring. 1. The touch is subordinate to the story. The touch was not the main event. It was a physical punctuation mark for the word shift. Her conscious mind is focused on the narrative, but her subconscious mind has just received a powerful, direct, and intimate signal. 2. It bypasses her defenses. Because the touch was framed as an accidental part of a gesture, her anti-slut defense and social shields were never activated. It was a covert physical intrusion that landed before her defenses were ever raised. 3. It rewires her nervous system. The peak emotional state of amusement from the story is now neurologically linked, anchored to his physical touch. Her body has now registered him as a source of positive, pleasurable physical contact. The barrier between the platonic and the sexual has been invisibly, irrevocably breached. The seed of physical desire has been planted. The final phase is not a negotiation. It is the execution of a logistical command framed as an inevitable, shared adventure. A few minutes later, at the absolute peak of the connection, when the laughter is the loudest and the rapport is at its zenith, the architect, he glances at his watch, a subtle signal of a different reality pulling at him. His tone becomes calm, decisive. This has been a fascinating collision of realities. Unfortunately, my own timeline is reasserting itself. But this conversation is unfinished. He does not ask. He pulls out his phone. "Give me your number. We're going to continue this over a glass of wine later this week." Her. "Oh, okay." The architect. He has already handed her the phone. He holds her gaze as she types. "Good. I'll text you the time and place. It was a pleasure discovering another honest person in the world." He takes the phone back, gives her a final knowing nod, and walks away without looking back. The Gnostic dissection. This is the anatomy of a perfect extraction. The sovereign decree. He does not ask, "Can I have your number?" He commands, "Give me your number." It is not a request, it is a logistical necessity to continue the reality he has already framed as unfinished. The future projection. He is not asking for a date. He is stating a future event as a fact. This bypasses her decision-making process. 4. The final validation. It was a pleasure discovering another honest person in the world. He seals the interaction by reaffirming the high-status identity he gifted her at the beginning. She is left feeling not that she was picked up, but that she was discovered and qualified by a man of immense perception and power. The clean exit. He walks away without looking back. This is a final powerful display of non-neediness. The chase is now entirely, completely her responsibility. Her mind will be consumed by waiting for his text. The bedroom door did not open in the gallery. It opened in her mind the moment he turned his back and walked away.
Do you see the architecture? This was not a conversation. It was a 4-act play of psychological dominance executed with the precision of a master surgeon. Act 1. The anomaly. He shattered her reality with a unique high-status frame. Act 2. The conspiracy. He built a shared world, isolating her with him against a backdrop of phonies. Act 3. The breach. He bypassed her shields with a covert kinesthetic anchor, planting the seed of physical desire. Act 4. The decree. He extracted her compliance, not with a request, but with the calm, unshakable certainty of an inevitable future. This is the science behind the art.
This is the hidden gnosis that separates the fumbling amateur from the sovereign architect of seduction. This is a power that can be learned. It is a system that can be mastered. If this deconstruction of a single seamless interaction has unveiled a level of strategic depth you have never before considered, command the like button. Acknowledge the existence of this hidden science. What was the single most powerful element in the architect's sequence for you? Was it the initial frame, the shared conspiracy, the kinesthetic anchor, or the final sovereign decree? Name the weapon that resonated most deeply in the comments below. Your answer reveals the next stage of your own training. To move from intellectually understanding this blueprint to being able to execute it flawlessly, under pressure, in the real world, requires a total immersion in the gnosis of the cathedral. It requires the forging of your own unshakable internal state. Subscribe and strike the obsidian bell of unveiling. Commit yourself to the path of becoming the man who does not follow the script of the conversation, but becomes the author of it. Stop asking for her number. Start architecting a reality where she is terrified of you not taking it.